Welcome to this, our first Thursday evening yoga session of the summer term, or the summer semester, if you like. And tonight we are going to be doing a lovely, invigorating, but gently invigorating practice of dynamic limbering, to let go of all of the tension we might have gathered over the course of the holidays, wriggle out some stiffness. So nothing super demanding, but by the end of it, you should feel completely wrung out and relaxed and ready for a great night's sleep. Join me standing up, and we'll take our feet nice and wide apart to begin with. And today we're going to take the weight onto one foot and then the other. Just a little wobble from side to side. And as you do that, just familiarizing yourself with the experience of standing on one leg and then the other. There's no wrong way to do this. You don't have to think about your alignment. It's just a little step from one side to the other. We're going to make those steps a little smaller, a little quicker, until we come to land with both feet on the floor. And hopefully you now feel a nice grounding sense in those feet. And then a little soft bounce in the knees, firm in the belly, a lift through the crown of the head, just gentle, and twisting, side to side. And as we twist, we just want to do a movement that feels really easy, that the body doesn't complain in any fashion about. So if you are meeting resistance in your body, make your movement a little smaller so that you can easily move within that space. Allow your shoulders to be heavy in your arms, fingers, hands to be loose and relaxed. If it feels good, you can tap the body wherever the hands or the arms fall as they wrap around you. You don't have to thump yourself too hard. And just check, just note to see whether you still have those abdominal muscles switched on. They don't need to be strongly switched on. Gently engaged is what we're looking for here. Now, if you have a sensitive low back, sometimes doing this with the feet still is unhelpful. So if you wish to, you can pivot on your feet. And that helps take the movement into the legs, the ankles, the feet, the hips. And then here, if you want to, you can also add a little soft bend in the knees. Very good. Checking that gentle lift in the center of the body is still engaged. I know you think that I've got some sort of telepathy, and I know when you've switched it off, but I'm just reminding you because I've noticed that I need to switch back on myself. If you wish to, you can touch the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite side of the ribs or hip behind you. Just giving a destination for those arms. And this movement is wringing out all of the tension, the effort of your day. Have a feeling that you can let go perhaps some of the burdens that rest on your shoulders. Bring some ease into your body. When you're ready, you can let your bounce go. Simply pivot on your feet and then bring your feet to steadiness and sway gradually back to center. And as you do, find a little stillness in the body. Perhaps gently close your eyes or gaze downward. Notice the effect of this first practice of your yoga session. Do you feel the tingling in your fingertips or a vibration through your body? Do you feel a lift of energy? We're going to take the hands and place them onto the abdomen, anywhere, it doesn't matter where. And then feeling the weight and perhaps warmth, my hands are frozen, but perhaps yours are warm, the weight and the contact, perhaps is a better word, of the hands on the belly. Just taking a few deeper breaths. As you breathe, allow your belly muscles to be relaxed so that you breathe in and the fingertips maybe slightly separate. You can feel the belly moving gently in and out. There's no need to force it or push it. It will naturally move in and out with a deep breath. And once you've done a few really natural, soft, deep breaths, you can begin to engage your belly muscles as you exhale to exhale more fully. And then focus on breathing into the sides of the body, the chest and the back. And as you exhale, a gentle engagement just around the navel, drawing it inwards, maybe a touch upwards to exhale completely. Long, deep breaths into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Feel the breath lift you tall, and as you exhale, softening the shoulders, drawing the belly muscles inwards and upwards. Let's do a few more of these. Work in your own time. These full deep breaths are really good at letting go of emotional tension, of bringing us back to a point of calm, of balance, but also improving our clarity of thought and energizing us from the inside for our practice ahead. At the end of your next exhalation, don't hurry, but when you finish your next exhalation, allow your arms to gently rest down to your side and draw your chin towards your chest. Feel that length down the neck, maybe across the shoulders or between the shoulder blades. And then rolling the left ear towards the left shoulder, chin back to chest, and right ear to right shoulder. We're going to go side to side. For those who don't enjoy this variation of neck limbering, I recorded a short video about neck and shoulders today, and you can look at that after this, or instead of this if you're watching the recording, just to find different ways of limbering your neck. But if you enjoy this one, carrying on, just noticing the connections down the neck into the top of the torso, shoulders, chest and upper back, under the jaw, into the ear, into the scalp, into the face. If you wish to, you can roll your head in gentle circles, maybe just making that a little smaller than your semicircles, lifting your chin, finding the space underneath the chin. Going nice and slow and steady. And when you're ready, you can change directions to move in the opposite direction. And just noticing perhaps the connection between the position of the chin and the feelings in the top of the chest. The sensations. The next time your chin comes to your chest, just resting there for a moment, smiling to yourself, and then bringing your head to an upright position. If your eyes have been closed, then you could maybe gently open them. If you like, you can continue with your eyes closed if you prefer. Wonderful stuff. So let's begin just moving the shoulders a little. Nice gentle rolls of the shoulders. We'll do a few in this direction and then change directions to go the opposite way as well. Very good. And then resting the arms down to the side. We're going to do a more vigorous shoulder opening. We've done this many, many times in the past. We still have those grounded feet. Hopefully they've not moved, so you feel super connected to the ground. You can draw on the strength of the feet throughout this practice. We're going to soften the knees a touch. Start with the left shoulder because it's the evening and it's good to start practice with the left side in the evening. We're going to roll this shoulder in circles. So just the shoulder. I've started off a little bit more wiggly than I'd intended, but just the shoulder. And then lead that motion with the elbow, a nice bent elbow to draw a circle with your elbow. Find a range of movement that feels good to you. And then you can introduce your whole arm, but you can keep your arm soft. It doesn't need to be super lengthened. And when you've done a few of these, you might like to press into the feet, firm the belly, and make more movement with your body. So allowing the rest of the body to join in, remembering to move your neck naturally with your spine. Unless you're dizzy, then looking at one point, focusing the eyes there to give you that internal stability as well. And we're going nice and slow. We're not like doing massive windmills. Nice and slow. We'll do one more in this direction. Very good. When you finish, just noticing the difference between the two sides of the body, we're going to do the same shoulder in the opposite direction. So rolling in the opposite direction. If you're not sure what the opposite direction is, then try moving naturally and then going the opposite way. Okay, moving the elbow now. Just allowing the elbow to guide that circle diameter or circumference or radius. Oh, I can't remember any maths offhand at this time. It's all good. And then the whole arm. And notice if it's different in this direction. If you get any big clunking, clicking or grinding, make your movement slower and smaller until you eliminate that. As long as it's not associated with pain, it's usually okay. Firm the feet and the belly and allow the rest of the body to join in. Feel that as you move, you're opening the sides of the body, the front of the chest, the back, the upper back. Allowing the neck to move naturally. We'll do two more in this direction. Supporting with that gentle lift in the belly. Finishing, resting your arm down to your side and observing the difference between the two sides of the body. And noticing if you feel warmer on one side than the other, or if you've got different sensations. These are just observations for your personal benefit, I guess, or personal attention. Then we'll move the opposite side. So rolling in your right shoulder. Doesn't matter which direction you start in. Go the way you most naturally do. And when you've done a few rolls with your shoulder, you can bend your elbow, lead that circle with the elbow, feel the space underneath the arm, down the sides of the body into the rib cage, into the waist. And then allow your arm to join into the movement. Very good. Whenever you're ready, you can find the strength in your feet and in your center and allow the rest of the body to join in. So supporting the movements of the spine, the wriggles that you're encouraged to make. Perhaps you can even feel the muscles down the sides of the body, in the back of the body, in the legs, switching on, as well as those abdominal muscles in the front. We're going to do one more in this direction. Allowing the arm to rest down to the side, observe the differences, and then rolling in the opposite direction. If you find that you do get any grinding or popping, remembering to slow your movement down, making it smaller, moving with your elbow now, until you can find comfort. It can be quite disturbing if you've got a lot of grinding. Whenever you're ready, using the whole arm. And usually when we involve the rest of the body, we can eliminate that grinding as well. So when you're ready, press into your feet, firm in your belly, and allow your body to move as your arm moves. And it's really personal the way that you practice this. It doesn't need to look like anybody else's practice, it's just yours. And this type of yoga is called an embodied practice. It means that you're really self-directing where you're ready to go by observing sensations. and the comfort of your body. Finishing at the end of this circle, just resting your arm down to your side. And we'll take a moment here in stillness to observe. So standing tall, closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. Taking a few deeper breaths, feeling where you've got sensations in the body. Is it across the top of the shoulders, down the back of the neck, across the chest, the sides, the feet maybe? Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Awesome sauce. Wonderful stuff, guys. So we're going to try and alternate between the upper body and the low body as we do our limbering. We've done the neck and shoulders a little bit. We're going to do some things for the feet as well. So here we're going to balance on one foot a little bit. So if you need, you can take yourself to a wall or a chair or a countertop. I'm going to do my best to do this freestanding. So taking your weight onto your right leg first, we're just going to lift the left knee up in front and rotate your foot at the ankle. Making just a few circles in one direction and then going the opposite way as well. And when you've done a few of these circles, you can also stir your foot in a circle so that your knee and hip move a little bit more, or your thigh bone moves in the hip, and going the opposite way as well. That's a little bit harder to do as you stand absolutely still. If it helps, use a point of focus ahead of you. If you can manage to hold your knee up here, you can just gently kick your leg straight and bend the knee. You're not, sorry, you don't need to get the leg absolutely straight. We're just looking for a bend in the knee. Very good. And then from here, we're going to step onto both feet again, and hopefully that will feel quite restful to be on both feet at the same time. And notice the difference between the two sides. And then working to the opposite side, taking your weight onto your left leg, raising your right knee in front of you, and then just doing nice ankle circles. This is my more wobbly side, so if you see me fall over, that's all good. I hope you have a laugh at it. And circling in the opposite direction as well. Be sure to stand tall and use that inner lift. When you're ready, you can stir your foot in a circle. So your toes are effectively making a circle on the floor, going in one direction and in the opposite direction as well. Wobbling just shows us we're alive. And then when you're ready, you can bring your foot to the center and extend and bend through your leg. Just lubricating that knee joint, making that left side work quite hard as well. When you're ready, step onto both feet and just observe the difference between the two sides of the body. They hopefully feels like you've made some effort, but not too much, but maybe awoken some muscles if you haven't used them today yet. And perhaps if you have, maybe Frances has been doing a lot of things today, then just noticing how it feels, if they feel particularly fatigued. Then we're going to come back to the upper body. And here we're going to step a little bit forward and then step back with the left foot as far as it naturally goes. We want to end up with the toes pointing basically forward, but you might have a slight inward angle on your back heel, and then a little soft buoyancy in those knees, so that we've got also a little perhaps buoyancy in the ankle joints to protect us as we move. Here, turning the left hand forward as if you were bowling a ball, and then just swinging your arm backwards and forwards. Just going to check I'm not going to whack anything behind me. So the backswing is the more important part of the movement. I will just move ever so slightly. There we are. Makes me feel a little bit more secure. Won't whack myself on the wall. And here, we're not moving in the legs. We're just moving the arm. It's really heavy and loose, and just opening across the chest a little bit more. When you're ready, you can move with your body. So I think I've got myself the wrong way around. There we are. So moving on your feet, coming a little bit forwards and backwards. And then if you'd like to, making sure it's nice and firm across your center, you can look with your head as your arm goes back behind you, and you'll find that that further opens the left side of the chest. The right arm can do whatever it wants to here, can rest by the side. I tend to hold it in this odd position in front of the body, just nice and relaxed. Very good. And of course, if this bothers your knees, you don't need to do the movement of the feet or the bouncing into the knees. And we'll do about 3 more before we gently bring our feet to steadiness and just allow the arm to find its way back to stillness at your side. Really gradually, then stepping forward onto both feet, observe the difference between the two sides of the body. You might notice that your arm feels perhaps a little cooler or warmer or some sensation, and perhaps you just feel a little lighter in that shoulder. I know I do. Okay, stepping back with the opposite foot. So taking the right foot back, making sure that you feel nice and soft in those knees and in the ankles. We'll turn the right palm forward and just begin as if you were bowling a ball, swinging your arm backwards and forwards, nice and soft and heavy in the shoulder, relaxed through the arm itself. Very good. Excellent action going on the screens, I can see. Whenever you're ready, if you wish to, you can just rock gently backwards and forwards on your feet. And allowing yourself to switch on those core muscles, drawing inwards and upwards. You can take your head and look at your hand as it moves behind you. Just noticing if that gives you the feeling of openness, maybe improves that feeling of openness across the chest. We're not looking for a big stretch or a feeling of gripping in the body or moving past the body's natural range of movement. This is really easy. Like you could do it all day. I mean, it's not really, really easy, but it should feel really easy. Very good. We'll do 3 more. And then when you're ready, just allowing your feet to come to steadiness and the arm to gradually come back to stillness at your side, and then stepping onto both feet. Taking a moment here again as we come back to stillness to close the eyes or gaze down and observe the effect of that practice in the body. Just a few deeper breaths. If you have anything that's come up that you feel that you need to let go of, you can sigh out through your mouth. Wonderful stuff. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes again. We're going to take our awareness back down into the low body again. So moving your weight onto your right foot, using some support if you need to. You're going to lift the left knee up in front and then just making circles with the left knee. Really firm in the belly, really lifting into the crown of the head. And you might find that you need to make those circles quite small, or you might find that you can explore a bigger circle. The more you do, the more you open and lubricate the hip joint. Very good. Let's do 1 more in this direction. And then we're going to try to change direction, going the opposite way. You can start small. It's always quite nice to allow your body to show you where it's open to go to. Remembering that lift, that action, perhaps using a point of focus ahead of you that's not moving. If you want to do a little bit more, you can. We'll do 1 more of these and then step onto both feet and observe the amount of effort that happens in the right foot and the right leg to allow you to move like that on your left side. The body is very good at working in a supportive way. So when you're ready, you can take your weight onto your left leg, just creating that lift, lifting the right knee in front of you and starting with some nice small circles to begin with. And you might have one hip that enjoys moving more than the other. This is my more clunky hip. So I'm going to slow the movement down and make smaller movements, trying to avoid making any clunking, clicking too many times anyway. Very good. One more in this direction. And then if you can, just gently changing directions. A little small movement to begin with. And then if it suits you, you can make your movement a little bigger. So this is where I get my big clunking. So I'm going to keep my movement quite small in this direction, but if you would like to, you can go bigger for sure. Explore what your body is ready to do today. Let's do 2 more. Very good. And then stepping onto both feet. And again, just allowing the legs to soften a little bit. That effort of holding and lifting and carrying the weight on one side. And we will shake out the legs now. So giving them a really good shake. Get your muscles as jiggly as you can. I'm sorry I'm wearing baggy pants, but what I'd really like for you to feel is like you've got jelly legs as you're shaking them out, that you've been able to relax your leg muscles so much. Very good. And then when you're ready, you can come to standing again in this nice wide stance. We'll return to our upper body a little bit now and do some spinal limbering. Well, it's all spinal limbering, but we're doing a little bit more of it front and back. So here we're going to bring the backs of the hands towards each other, maybe gently looking down or drawing the chin towards the chest, perhaps gently tucking under, softening the knees, scooping the belly a little bit in, and then opening the arms wide, lifting the chin, lifting the chest, maybe even lengthening the legs and sticking the tailbone out behind you a touch if that feels good to you. So we're exhaling as we round through the spine and draw the backs of the hands towards each other, chin to chest, and inhaling as we stand tall, opening the arms wide, even maybe a little bit back behind the body, chin lifted. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. If you want to, you can make a little figure of 8 action with the arms, where you do more of a ripple through the spine, a little firmer in the feet, in the belly, and flowing with your breath. We'll just do one more to finish as we inhale. Standing tall, turning the palms, floating them down to the sides of the body. And as you do, you perhaps need a little shrug to let go of any tension across the shoulders. So just lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping, shrugging up, letting go. One more, shrugging up, letting go. Fantastic stuff, guys. So sticking with the arms, but doing something for the hands and the wrists. Taking the hands down, either side of the body, spreading the fingers and beginning to roll into your wrists with your fingers nice and extended. And here we're going to try to lift our arms at the same time, which I must admit that a Wednesday's class found a feat of concentration. So lifting the arms as you circle, as you extend in your fingers. And your hands can get to where, arms can get to wherever is comfortable. Once you're as high as you go, reverse your rotation in the wrists and just allow the arms to come back down to the sides. Now, I think we did this a few times last time, so we're going to do that one more time. So reversing the rotation of the wrists, reaching the arms wide and up. Feeling that lift through the body, maybe the shoulders lift a little as well, and then reversing the rotation, circling the other way as you release the arms out to the side and down. Very good. And at the bottom of the movement, just let your hands find stillness. Notice how your hands feel and then give them a shake. Very good. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so we did some chest opening or really back strengthening things at the end of last term, which I'd like to incorporate today as well. So reaching your arms into a nice wide V or Y shape, palms of the hands facing forward, and just as you look to either side, making sure that your arms are at the side of your body. They're not in front and they're not behind. So you haven't created an imbalance in the chest and the upper back. And here we're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, draw your elbows into your waist, but keep your hands wide. And as you look side to side, keep them at the sides of the body so they haven't moved forwards or backwards either. Breathing in, reaching out into your VY shape. Breathing out, elbows into the waist, hands wide. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, pulling those elbows down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out, pulling the elbows down. We're going to do 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely job. Relax the arms down. Oh, give yourself a bit of dancing shoulders, dancing hips. Just to let go of any tension. You can go in both directions. And it's really good. This is a good practice throughout life. If you do something that creates that effort that's difficult to let go of at the end of doing it. So I get that all of the time when I'm in the polytunnel doing like a repetitive task. Then taking an opportunity to wriggle at the end of your task lets you let go. It's like shaking out. Okay, so we'll come to our hips. We've done some things for the hips. We're just going to do a few more. So with the feet perhaps just a touch wider than they have been, but still feeling nice and grounded and connected. A little soft in the knees. Imagining your pelvis like a bowl of water, tipping the water out of the front of the bowl and then the back of the bowl. And what we want to do here is keep the rest of the body quite still and steady so that we're doing that movement in a much more isolated fashion than some of our previous limbering. Little tip forwards and backwards. Again, moving in a way that feels really natural, really easy, no strain, not meeting any resistance, no feelings of discomfort. Awesome stuff. When you're ready, you can come to the center and come to stillness, and then do the same thing side to side. So again, it's quite, the body is quite still above the waist. You can use your feet, use the muscles in the legs, feel what's happening down the sides of the body as well, across the belly, across the back. Little side to side action. Awesome stuff. And then coming to center again and putting this together in a pelvic roll or a hip roll. So again, looking for that stillness or steadiness above the waist, but you're really utilizing those deeper core muscles underneath in the center and lower part of the torso and the upper part of the legs. Very good. We'll go the opposite way as well, just reversing your direction whenever you're ready. And if you put your hands here on the sides of your body, you can probably feel those muscles firing underneath your fingertips. And you're affecting some of the much smaller, deeper muscles, as well as the ones more superficial that we're used to working with, or used to naming, if you like. When you're ready, just doing one more. Coming back to center, standing tall, and we're going to do a little forward bend here to release. So you can keep your feet in exactly the same position, reaching up as you inhale, opening your chest, and then really soft in your knees, folding forward from the hips, scooping the belly in, really allowing as much bend in the knees as you need to feel comfortable here. Taking the arms to hold elbow to elbow or turning the backs of the hands towards the floor, keeping the knees as soft as is needed. You can even do a little sway of the upper body, like a pendulum, or perhaps a little paddle through the legs or a sway of the hips.
Be guided by what your body feels comfortable doing. You don't need to do anything at all. You can just take a couple of deep breaths here. It's helpful to engage across the belly muscles because it helps the back to relax a little deeper or to lengthen a little deeper. But we're not trying to get to the floor or anything like that. So nothing fancy. When you're ready, come back to center. Bend the knees very deeply. Just drop your weight into your heels a touch. Curl the chin towards the chest and curl the body up to standing, just unwinding like a fern. When you come up to standing, if you're dizzy, bring your hands to the center of your chest and just give yourself a couple of deep breaths here. But if you're not dizzy, reach your arms out and up, look up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, draw the hands down through the center of the chest. Very good. Aces. Brilliant stuff, guys. Okay, so if you need to wiggle anything, then please feel free to wiggle. We're going to take the thumbs into the palms, wrapping the fingers all around the thumbs, and we're going to do some wrist circles again here in this position. Wrist circles with arms that reach out and up. So circling the wrists as the arms reach out and up. You know the drill by now. When you get to the top of your movement, reverse that circling, circle the opposite way and reach the arms out to the side and back down again. Taking your time, there's no hurry, there's no prize for first. And then reversing that circling, reaching the arms out and up one more time. And you might really feel this, if you spend a lot of time typing, this is a really nice practice. And then the opposite way, circling the wrists as you reach the arms out and down again. Wonderful stuff. Relax the arms by the side. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shrug or a little bit of a dancing shoulder if you like. And then shaking out the hands. Very good. Okay. We're going to come back to doing our pelvic tilting, but this time we're going to use the whole body. So before, when we were doing the pelvic tilting, we had soft knees and we were tipping water out of the bowl of the pelvis. This time we're going to keep the knees a little bit longer. They can still have some buoyancy, but a little bit longer. And we're going to ease the hips forwards and backwards. So a little firmer across the belly, easing the hips forwards and backwards, like you're pivoting, like a hinge, rather than whatever it was before. I don't know. I don't have a good analogy for other than the bowl. If you can think of one, let me know. So a little bit forwards and backwards. We'll do 2 more. Nice and firm in the belly to protect, so you can't do too much. The buttock muscles work as well. And then we'll do a little side to side. So just easing a little bit one side and then the other. We're going to come to some more formal side bending in a jiff. So a little bit side to side. Nice. There's some really lovely swaying going on the screens. It's lovely to practice with people for a change. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, and we'll make circles. So those same circling that we did before, but this time allowing the body to move. So we're not still in any place. The whole body can move together rather. And we've got that touch of buoyancy through the knees. Whenever you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction as well. Keeping that steady lift through the belly, through your center. Just noticing how protective, how supportive that is. Wonderful stuff. I think we'll go around one more time. And then bringing yourself back to center when you're ready, relaxing your arms to your side. We're going to shake out the whole body. So we're shaking out the arms, shaking out the legs, one at a time. If it's helpful, you can shake into your shoulders. Just letting go of any tension that might have built up in the course of our practice. And then when you're ready, come to some stillness and observe the effect so far. So just taking a moment, standing tall. Deep breath in and out. Brilliant.
So before we come down to the mat, which is the direction we're going in, we're going to do a little bit of side bending. So we're going to start with the arms nice and wide and just gently reach the right hand down as the left arm goes up, nice and firm across the belly, and then reaching in the opposite direction. We're not trying to get anywhere in particular. It doesn't matter how much you move here. Perhaps a gentle softness in the knees. Switch on the buttocks if it's helpful, if it makes your back feel more secure. Just gentle side to side. We'll do one more in each direction like this. And then we're going to make it more of a movement. So we're going to reach the right arm across the body and the left arm perhaps a little bit further to the right side. And then the same in the opposite direction, reaching the left arm across the body, the right arm perhaps going just a little bit further. Up and over, nice and firm in your center. You don't have to do more if you don't enjoy it, if your back is sensitive perhaps. Feeling, maybe moving with your breath, feeling that the breath can really move into the sides of the body, into the rib cage. Very good. Last one to the left side. And coming back to the center, just relaxing the arms down to the sides, giving yourself some dancing shoulders, dancing hips. That helps to wriggle out. And we're going to take another forward bend, but in the course of this forward bend, we're going to come down to the floor as well. So I'm going to turn just this way on my mat. You guys don't need to, of course. We're going to breathe in, taking the arms out and up, lifting in the belly, lifting in the chest. As you breathe out, folding forward from the hips, soft in the knees as needed, and gently coming into that forward bending position. As you come down, holding elbow to elbow or backs of the hands towards the floor, scooping the belly in, maybe giving your head a gentle nod to relax the back of the neck, and then a gentle turn again to let go of tension, to create a little bit of traction with the weight of the head. When you're ready, you can reach the hands forward and then just bending the knees to come into a lovely hands and knees position. And in your hands and knees position, take a moment to set up your hands in a way that feels really strong and secure, just as we did with our feet. You can even pad from one side to the other as we did with our feet, just to find your connection with the mat. And your toes can be tucked flat or tucked under as you prefer. And then here, we're going to start from this neutral space, drawing the pelvic floor in, and then the belly muscles in and up. Taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relaxing everything. We'll do that again. We're going to inhale to lift the pelvic floor, inhale to draw the belly muscles in, and as you exhale, relax everything, let it go. One more time like that. Breathe in, lift the pelvic floor, lift the belly muscles. Breathing out, relax those muscles. This time, as we do that, we're going to breathe out and keep hold of our contraction. So lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the belly muscles as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, holding. Breathing in again, still holding, and then breathe out to relax everything. Breathing in, lift your pelvic floor, lift your belly muscles, breathe out as you hold. Breathe in one more time. Breathe out, relax and let everything go. This time we're going to breathe in and engage the pelvic floor, the belly muscles. And as you breathe out, hold that contraction, draw your chin towards your chest and make a cat pose. Hold the contraction, and as you breathe in, look forward, open your chest, lift your tailbone and touch. Keep hold of the contraction, soft buoyancy in the elbows, roll through the spine into cat pose. Keep that contraction, keep that effort, keep that lift, that center and security as you breathe in to cow pose. Keep going cat to cow with your breath. Anytime you feel that there's a relaxing of the muscles that are supporting, just engage them gently again. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. And then here, if you enjoy child's pose, you can settle into child's pose. And if you do not enjoy child's pose, because there are some of us who don't, just kneel. You can kneel on support or you can simply kneel up, but take the weight off your wrists. That's the important thing. So whether you're kneeling or in child's pose, taking a few deep breaths. And if you're in child's pose, you can turn the palms of the hands upwards. And if you're kneeling, you can roll through the backs of the hands, whatever suits you best. When you're ready, you can come back into your hands and knees position. And then we'll do a little side cat. So we want to keep that lift again. So as you breathe in, lift the pelvic floor and the belly muscles. And then as you breathe out, holding and continuing to hold. Draw the left shoulder towards the left hip, looking slightly to the left. And then draw the right shoulder to the right hip, looking slightly to the right. Try to keep your neck in a neutral position. So you're not lifting your chin or tucking your chin in, but just nice and neutral as you sway from side to side. The shoulders, the pelvic girdle and the shoulder girdle making the movement, and the spine lengthening on one side and shortening on the other. And by spine, I mean back. Sorry about that. Feel that openness down the rib cage, maybe pressing into the hands. You can feel it particularly across the middle of the back. One more to each side. And again, taking another rest, whether it's child's pose or kneeling upright, whatever works for you. Turning the palms upwards if you're in child's pose, forehead on the floor or onto the back of the forearms. If you're kneeling upright, just giving your wrists some releasing. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Ready, you can turn your palms down to the floor or come back to hands and knees if you're kneeling upright. And again, we want to take a breath in to lift the pelvic floor and the belly muscles. And as we exhale, holding there. And then barrel rolling your spine. So moving into the side cat, the up cat, if you like, side cat and cow pose. Little soft in the elbows, soft in the shoulders. Let your head and neck make natural movements at the end of the spine. So you might look in one direction or the other. You might tuck your chin in a little as the back of the body is raised up towards the ceiling. And look up a little as the tailbone lifts as well. Whichever direction you're going in, take a moment and then reverse to go in the opposite direction. One of my teachers calls this sassy cat, where you're wriggling through the pelvic girdle and the shoulder girdle, the arms, the legs, the whole of the center of the back and the spine. It's a really lovely thing to do, particularly at the end of the day. It is like massaging your body from the inside. We'll go around one more time in this direction. To finish in that cat pose and then taking child's pose or coming up onto your knees. And you can alternate your child's poses as well. So if you want to do some with the knees together, resting the body on top of the thighs. And there you might find that you feel more comfortable with your arms down by your side, touching the outer side of the ankles or being near the feet. But if you find that puts too much pressure into your forehead or the back of the neck, then keeping the arms out in front of you, and you might prefer to have your toes together and your knees apart, making more room for your body to come towards the floor. Whichever child's pose, maybe there's a different variation you prefer, or kneeling position that you like, for a couple of deep breaths, making sure that your belly muscles completely relax here as well. When you're ready, You can come back onto your hands and knees. And here we're going to make our way into a gentle downward dog. So tucking your toes, floating your knees off the floor, maybe giving yourself a little wiggle from side to side with the knees, and then with your belly muscles engaged, pressing chest back towards thighs, and then gently, slowly uncurling your legs so that they are straighter. They don't have to be all the way straight. If this is your first downward dog of the day, take your time to ease through those heels, bending one leg and then the other, pressing at the same time into the hands, moving the chest back towards the thighs, keeping the tailbone lifted, allowing the belly muscles to be engaged. It's pretty hard to do this without engaging the belly muscles and the pelvic floor, actually. So noticing that connection that we made in cat pose being mirrored here in the down dog. If you need a rest at any time, just coming down to lie on your belly. But if you can manage a few more wiggles to either side, then going for it. Whenever you're ready, you can draw your body forward into a plank pose, extending through your heels, trying to get your hips level but not sunken below the level of the natural level of the body. And then from here, knees to the floor, roll the shoulder blades towards each other, soften in the elbows, draw your chin or forehead down to the floor with your chest. When you get all the way down, tuck your toes flat, make a pillow out of your hands, rest your forehead or the side of your head on the back of your hands. Allow your toes to fall towards each other, they don't have to touch, heels to fall out to the side. Feel the connection between the front of the body and the floor. Feel grounded, supported, held, and allow your body to let go of its tension here. For a few deep breaths with the belly muscles relaxed. Maybe sighing out through the mouth if you need to. If you want to, you can gently wiggle your hips from side to side. If that helps you, particularly to let go of any effort in the back of the body. If you've got your head turned to one side, do take care to turn it to the opposite side as well. Relax your face. Relax the effort in the arms and shoulders, the belly, the back. And then when you're ready, you can bring your thighs towards each other and bring your hands either side of the body. They can be quite wide if that's useful for your shoulders, or they can be closer to the body as you choose. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other. You don't need to pin your elbows towards the sides of the body, but maybe have the intention of drawing them towards each other. Press the pubic bone down, engage in your belly muscles, and then gently float your head and chest, and if you want to, hands off the floor and release down. Keeping that lift in the center of the body, breathing in as you lift away from the floor with the head, chest, and hands, breathing out and down. Let's do one more like that, breathing in and up, breathing out and down. And now you can keep your hands down, still shoulders engaged, belly engaged, breathing in as you come up. Just press into the arms a little to give you maybe an inch or two higher lift, and then gently release down. As you breathe in, try to lift with the muscles of the back first, then engaging in the arms, keeping your spine neutral in the neck so that the neck's just in line with the rest of the body. And we'll do one more, breathing in and up, pressing into the hands. If you want to hold this time as you come up, you can. Keep the shoulder blades rolling towards each other. You can open your chest a little bit more if you like. Elbows are still soft, still buoyant here. And you can even sway the upper body from side to side if you enjoy that. You don't have to do it if you don't. Take one more deep breath in and then exhale as you release all the way down to the mat. Again, making a pillow out of your hands, toes falling inwards, heels falling outwards. Maybe give a little wriggle through the hips, softening the effort in the back of the body, but then finding some stillness, some softness through the belly muscles, allowing the head and the arms to be nice and heavy for a couple of deep breaths. And then from here, we're going to roll onto our backs. So you don't have to have any equipment here, but if you enjoy a supported bridge pose rather than an active bridge pose, you might want a block handy. But rolling onto your back whenever you're ready. Oh, and again, we need to take a moment here. Bend the knees, place the feet on the floor, let the arms rest out to the side. Let the back of the head be really heavy into the mat. And notice the contact between your body and the floor, that sense of being held and supported, grounding, and allowing you to let go, to really release into the mat. Take a moment here, a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready, you can wave your nose from side to side. Just a nice turn of the head, easing, noticing if there's tension there, but easing it if you find it out of the neck and shoulders. Lovely. And then we're going to come to the center with the head. And here, just tipping your pelvis a little bit more. So like we did standing, tipping the water out of the back of the pelvis bowl, and then tipping the pelvis bowl the opposite way. Pressing the low back down into the mat, and then creating space underneath the back of the body by pressing the tailbone down. A little wriggle backwards and forwards, keeping the arms nice and relaxed, the upper body nice and relaxed. And you can go slowly, as slow as feels comfortable, and bring some ease into those supportive structures around the middle of the body. When you've done a few of those and it feels comfortable, you can draw your knees into your chest. And first, just to hold the knees towards you for a moment. So it's like a reverse child's pose, supine child's pose. But this posture is actually has a name of its own, Apanasana. So here we're easing the knees in and out. But if that doesn't feel so comfortable, you can simply rest with your knees bent and just give them a bit of support with your hands. You can even put your hands underneath the knees on the backs of the thighs if that's a more comfortable position for your shoulders. Allow the back of the head to be heavy. Allow the shoulders to relax. And use this movement to gently massage across the low back and the waist as well. If it feels good, you can relax your hands down away from your knees, maybe flex your feet a touch, and just do this with your tummy muscles a little bit more. So you're moving your knees in and out. Sometimes it's nice to circle as well, so you can circle the knees. Again, if it's preferable, you can hold on to your knees with your hands if you prefer. Circling in one direction, and then when you're ready, gently reversing that motion, circling in the opposite direction. When you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center. If you haven't been holding, take the opportunity to hang on to the knees for a moment. Just draw them to wherever is comfortable for you. Relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, sighing out through the mouth. And then releasing the feet to the floor one at a time. And taking your arms wide again, your feet quite wide as well now, and gently swaying the knees from one side to the other. Just a little gentle sway, one way and the other. You don't have to get anywhere here. It's not about the spinal twist, but we will come towards that eventually. Just beginning to feel the fluidity of movement in the hips, maybe noticing where you've got a little bit of effort from our practice or a little release from the practice. If it feels comfortable, you can allow your knees to come down on your left side and just rest them there for a moment. If you find that your knees are very far away from the floor, particularly the left knee, you might want something underneath that left knee. And as long as you don't feel any twisty sensations across the knees, you can rest here. If you do, support a little bit higher up, reaching your right arm out and up a little. See how far you can reach that arm up before your shoulder and elbow and wrist leave the floor, and then take it to a point where your arm feels lovely and supported and relaxed against the floor, and take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe sighing out through the mouth. Releasing that top arm back down to your side. Firm the belly just a touch to bring your knees back to center, doing a little sway of the knees from side to side. And then in your own time, allow the knees to come down on your right. And just making sure it feels comfortable, or using support if you need to or if you want to. Sometimes using support means you get a better release because your body relaxes more if it's in contact with something than if it's hanging around in midair. If you wish to, you can extend the left arm out to the side or up to a point where you've still got the shoulder, elbow, and wrist relaxed into the mat. The whole of the arm feeling heavy, but this beautiful openness down the left side of the body. Taking a few deep breaths here. Maybe sighing out through your mouth for the next breath. When you feel ready, you can relax the left arm back to your side, firm the belly muscles, draw the knees back to center. Again, giving a gentle sway in each direction. And then here, we're going to move the feet towards each other, but not touching. Elbows down by the side or arms down by the side, just for a gentle tilting of the pelvis. We're going to work our way into a bridge pose. So lifting the hips if it feels comfortable. Otherwise, stick with the tilting that we did before, where the back is still on the ground, but just tilting the pelvis. We're not doing much of a bridge here. We're just lifting a little, feeling a little bit of freedom and air underneath the body. Support from the shoulders and the feet and the buttocks. Just doing one more like this. And then allowing your hips to rest down. Draw your left knee in towards you. And then hugging that knee towards you, move your hands around to the back of the thigh and extend your left leg to wherever feels comfortable. It doesn't need to be straight, it doesn't need to be up, it can be out. And you can use a belt if you feel that's more restful for you. Keeping your shoulders as relaxed as possible. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. You can rotate your foot at the ankle as well. That helps to get a lovely release down the shin and across the calf, going the opposite way as well. You may feel the front of the ankle a little bit stretchy, or the Achilles a little bit stretchy here. Not too stretchy, just gentle. If you feel super comfortable here, You can come to stillness and extend your right leg away from you, extend into both heels just for a little bit of extra length down the back of the body. Again, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And remember, you can bend your knee as much as you like, but if it's quite toughy doing these sorts of postures, keep your right knee bent with your foot on the floor. It'll be a little bit easier. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Bending your left knee, just hugging your knee towards you. Bend your right knee in as well, hugging that too. Make any movements that feel good, perhaps some circling or some swaying from side to side, or drawing the knees in and out. Whatever works. In your own time, taking your left foot down to the floor, hugging the right knee, moving the hands around to the back of the thigh, drawing the knee towards you, and then extending your leg to wherever it is comfortable. Making sure your shoulders are relaxed, using a belt or bending your knee as much as you need to make that a position that you can hold. Here, rotating your foot at the ankle, that's your right foot. Just experiencing some of that releasing of tension that you can get by moving your foot this way, reversing that rotation. I find this really lovely, especially if I've been in wellies all day. Very good. And then if you wish to, you can extend your left leg along the floor, extending into both heels, just taking a moment to breathe here. Remember that if it's not comfortable, bend that left knee, place the foot on the floor, bend your right knee as much as you need to. Try and keep your shoulders nice and relaxed, your face nice and relaxed if you can. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. And then bending the right knee, hugging it towards you, bending the left knee in as well, catching hold of it. And this time taking the toes together and the knees apart, circling the knees together in towards the chest, apart and away from you. So keeping hold of the knees now, keeping the toes touching. And that means that you're just stirring in the hips rather than doing so much movement that you're switching on muscles that we've released. Go in the opposite direction as well. Very nice. I was hoping to do a seated breath practice, but we're going to run out of time for that. But don't worry, we'll do it a different week. When you're ready, bringing your knees back to the center, this time lengthening your right leg away from you onto the floor. Take your left knee in your right hand, reach your left arm out to the left, a little firm in the belly, and just rolling your left knee to the right side as you look to your left hand. So your head moving in the opposite direction if that feels comfortable. It doesn't matter if your left knee is hanging in space, but you might like to rest your left foot on your right thigh or on the floor to the right side of your leg, whichever is most accessible. We're not forcing this spinal twist. We want to feel that the body is soft here. Taking a few deep breaths, making sure the head is well supported by the floor. Maybe one more deep breath in and out. And then a touch of firmness across the belly, head to center first, rolling back onto your back. Bend both knees in. Extend the left leg away from you. Hold the right knee with the left hand. Reach the right arm out to the right. And then very gently, a little firmness in the belly, rolling the right knee towards the left side of the body, looking towards the right hand as you do. You might find your toes touch the floor, but if not, you can rest them on top of your left leg. Sometimes I find that's a little bit more supportive. I feel like I can let go a little bit more here. Try to find softness and support through the whole body. Taking a few deep breaths here.
Whenever you're ready, you can draw your head back to center, a little firm across the belly to move the knees back to the center as well. Draw both knees in towards you, hug them a touch, and if you want to, you can hold the knees in place and gently draw your head towards your knees a couple of times. Just have that sensation of closing the body down and releasing. We are moving into relaxation now, so gently rolling onto one side. Oh, coming up to sitting, gathering any things that you need for the relaxation portion of the class. So perhaps taking a jumper, you might like a bolster or 2 or 3, or cushions of some kind underneath the body, underneath the backs of the legs, to really let the low back release in our relaxation as well. So taking your time, if you've got eye pillows, you can use eye pillows, making sure you're really cozy, because although it is summertime, it's also, at least on the west coast here, Francis, I don't know what it's like with you, but here it's a dreary and drizzly night, and quite damp and chilling as well. So in your own time, finding your way onto your back for relaxation. If you prefer a different position, you go for it. The key thing from a relaxation position is that you can hold it still and steady for the duration of relaxation. So if you want to do legs up the wall, then that's great, you do that. If you want to lie on your tummy, similar thing. Whenever you're ready, joining me in your relaxation posture of choice, and I will probably use language that assumes that you're lying on your back, and if I say anything that doesn't apply to you, just ignore it. So give yourself a few moments just to fidget, and in fact we'll do a little tense and relax here, but it really helps to let go of tension at the end of the practice. So tensing the muscles of the left leg, pointing the toes, lifting your leg a little off the mat, holding the leg tense, 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 relax and drop down. So you should hear your foot hit the floor. Tensing the muscles of the right foot and leg, pointing the toes, lifting the leg a little off the mat or off your support, holding tense, 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 relax and drop down. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips up, and relax, drop down. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other, lift your chest up, and relax and drop down. Make tight fists out of the hands and lift both arms just an inch or 2 off the mat. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Press your shoulders down to your hips, open your palms wide, spread your fingers, relax and drop down. Press your low back down into the mat, and at the same time, have a sensation of lengthening through the back of the neck as well. The back of the neck is unlikely to touch the floor, but keep your head in contact with the floor instead. Feel the whole of the back of the body is moving downwards. Breathe just a moment longer here, and then relax. Screw all the muscles of your face in towards your nose. Make a tight lemon sucking face, and then open your eyes, open your mouth, stick out your tongue and exhale. And relax. Let's do one more like that. Squeeze all the muscles of the face in towards the nose, scrunch it up, and then eyes open, mouth open, tongue out, exhale. And relax. Close your eyes, gently rolling your head from one side to the other. A few times in each direction, easing tension out of the neck and shoulders. Whenever you're ready, bringing your head back to center, making any final adjustments to your posture so that you can bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Repeat 2 more times. A deep breath in, letting all of your effort go, your muscles relax. A deep breath in and surrender your weight down into the mat. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften, the space between the eyebrows spreading, the area around your eyes releasing, your mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Take note of how your body feels in this moment. At the end of your practice. And we'll stop for a moment after relaxation as well to notice how the body feels then. Move your awareness to the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts of your body that touch the floor. Perhaps the back of your head, shoulders and shoulder blades, backs of arms and hands, buttocks, legs, heels. Experience the sensation of contact between your body and the floor. Move your awareness to all the parts of the back of the body that are not in contact with the floor. The back of the neck, the wrists, perhaps the very bottom of the back, the Achilles, the soles of the feet. Experience the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Where you feel those spaces, imagine your body cushioned by air. Allow the whole of the back of the body to soften deeper, to release down further, to let go. Move your awareness to the front of your body, becoming aware of the space over you and you. Feel the touch of air on your face, the movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The weight and the warmth of a blanket over your extra layers on your body. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Allow the front of the body to feel great ease, free to move in the space around it. Notice your body moving as you breathe, moving with your breath. Draw your awareness to your breath. develop a slow, deep breath. A breath of ease and comfort, softness. Focus on drawing in prana, vitality, energy with each breath in, releasing tension, fatigue, and discomfort with each breath out. Breathing in light, energy, harmony. Breathing out tension, fatigue, negativity. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm for the remainder of your relaxation or whenever you're aware of it. Your body and mind softening a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet by moving your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles. Excuse the clicking happening at this end. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the arms and the legs. Oh, stretching through the whole body, maybe yawning. Ooh, that feels good. In your own time, you can gather your knees into your chest, or perhaps rest your feet on the bolster if you've got one, or cushions if you prefer. But whatever you do, move your spine in a way that feels good. Perhaps you want to do a little bit of swaying from side to side or circling. If you feel that there's anything left to do that your body needs to do, and just taking this opportunity to do it now. When you're ready, you can roll to one side, curling up for a moment, supporting the head with one hand, just allowing yourself a few soft breaths, containing that feeling of stillness and peace within for as long as possible. Whenever you're ready, coming into any comfortable upright position. And before we do anything else, just take a moment here sitting to notice the effect of our practice today. So notice how your body feels,
how you feel in yourself, in your emotions, in your mind, in your breath. Allow that to tell you whether you are at ease and finding peace, or if there is more work to be done or releasing to happen. And that's okay. When you're ready, you can bring your palms together, rub them vigorously if you enjoy palming your eyes, or just rest them at the center of the chest if you prefer. Pressing hard, rubbing fast rather, if you are rubbing the palms. And when you're ready, when they feel warm, placing the hands over the eyes so that you feel that contact, perhaps warmth, softening the area around the eyes, providing a nice dark space to blink your eyes open into, releasing your hands down when you're ready to open your eyes. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and for this summer term. Don't forget to check out the videos for this week as well, little short practices that support this week's theme of energizing morning practice. And I hope you have really sweet dreams tonight as well. Namaste.